First, our top story here in Singapore tonight. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong says Singapore won't be raising its alert for COVID-19 to the highest level as the situation here remains under control. He spoke to the nation this evening after the World Health Organization declared the virus a pandemic. But Mr. Lee has also laid out additional measures, including temporarily tightening travel restrictions and creating more healthcare capacity, with cases expected to go up. Cheryl Lin with this report.
The number of COVID-19 cases around the world is doubling every 5 to 7 days. This spurred the WHO to declare the virus a pandemic, meaning it believes many countries will see full-blown outbreaks. Mr. Lee said that unlike the SARS episode in 2003, this epidemic will continue for a year and maybe longer. He added that Singapore can expect more imported cases and new waves of infection from many countries rather than one or two. To prepare for a possible spike in cases, extra safeguards will be required.
We will need additional social distancing measures. These will be temporary, like suspending school, staggering work hours, or compulsory telecommuting. They will be extra breaks to be implemented when we see a spike in cases. But let me emphasize this. The situation in Singapore remains under control. We are not going to DORSCON red. We are not locking down our city like the Chinese, the South Koreans, or Italians have done. What we are doing now is to plan ahead for some of these more stringent measures, try them out, and prepare Singaporeans for when we actually need to implement them.
These measures will come on top of baseline things that Singaporeans must get used to, like practicing good personal hygiene and discouraging large gatherings, which is why community activities for seniors have been scaled down. Mr. Lee added that during this period, religious services may have to be shortened and members may have to give some of these a miss. Mr. Lee also detailed the medical plans in place to deal with a potential spike.
With very large numbers, if it happens, we will not be able to hospitalize and isolate every case like we do now. The sensible thing will be to hospitalize only the more serious cases and encourage those with mild symptoms to see their family GP and rest at home, isolate themselves. This way, we focus resources on the seriously ill, speed up our response time, and hopefully minimize the number of fatalities. In the meantime, we are freeing up ICU and hospital beds and facilities to create additional capacity to meet any surge in COVID numbers.
And as the pandemic continues to dent the economy, Mr. Lee said a package of measures is on the way. Firms will get help with costs and cash flow to better weather the storm, while authorities will support workers to keep their jobs and reskill. Retrenched workers and the unemployed will also get an extra helping hand. Mr. Lee added that these plans aim to reassure the public that the government is on top of things and thinking ahead. He said he's confident Singapore will be able to manage the impact on its economy and medical system. But he stressed that the psychological aspect is also critical in the fight against COVID-19.
What makes Singapore different from other countries is that we have confidence in each other. We feel that we are all in this together, and we don't leave anyone behind. This is SG United. We are SG United. We will remain in this high-risk state, nevertheless, for some time to come. But if we keep up our guard and take practical precautions to protect ourselves and our families, we will be able to keep our economy going and carry on with our daily lives. In such a crisis, everyone has a part to play.
He said this will help Singapore to move forward together.